Hello, this is Terry Simmons with the Women's Business Center. I want to welcome you all today to our webinar, 6 p.m. webinar. I want to thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited. We're expecting a large group of folks today. Excited about all the information that we're going to be sharing. I'm so excited about our expert sales guru, all that Donna Smith Bellinger that we're going to be bringing you this evening. Before we get started, I want to just tell you a little bit about who we are. I'm the director of the Women's Business Center COVID-19 programs. We're located in Aurora. We're part of the Women's Business Development Center out of Chicago. They are our hosts. The Women's Business Development Center in Chicago has been around for over 35 years. We've been in Aurora for about 5 years now. We serve startups, nascent businesses, and those that are in their growth stage or those that are in established. We do that through a number of different ways. We provide technical assistance through business advising, workshops, and training, such as the one that we're hosting tonight. We provide so many resources to our business owners, such as access to capital. We have our own department where we are able to provide microloans for those who are unable to go to a traditional lender to get the support that they need as far as being able to financially get their business up and growing. And we also help business owners get certified as a minority business enterprise. So we offer a wide range of services to small businesses. And we know now that there's a lot of business who have been impacted tremendously due to COVID-19. So we're providing special programming just for those businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. And this is one of the workshops that we're presenting tonight. So I want to tell you a little bit about our subject matter expert, Donna Smith Bellinger. Donna is the owner of Ask DSB. I'll get that right in a moment, Donna. She's the owner of Ask DSB. She's an internationally known speaker, revenue accelerator, and author. And she is a great friend of the Women's Business Center. Tonight, her workshop is titled Service Your Clients to Increase Sales and Retention. And Donna is going to talk to us about all of those sales buzzwords such as retention, attraction, repeat customers, sales cycles, upselling, all of that good stuff that we want to know more about to help us continue to grow our businesses. So without further ado, take it away, Donna. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I will tell you all right now that I just wanted to be able to wave and say hello, but I'm going to turn off my camera because this is not about me. This is about the information, and I don't want you distracting yourself going, what kind of a face is she making now? So what I do request, though, is that you introduce yourself in the chat area. Please tell me who you are. If you have a business, tell me what the name of the business is. All right, and let's use that chat to stay in communication because there are going to be audience participation times within this. So I want you to participate fully so that I can serve you fully. So my name is Donna Smith Bellinger, and I am a business development and sales consultant. I have to tell you that one of my first business development experiences was with the Women's Business Development Center over 20 years ago. I know, I was in diapers. But when I was working with them, I had the opportunity to attend a training that allowed me to understand much more fully what business was going to look like for me. And I've got somebody that needs to mute because I hear a keyboard in the background. But it helped me to understand what the world would expect of me as a business owner and who I needed to show up as in order to communicate my value to businesses. So if you are working with the Women's Business Development Center, you're in the right place. Absolutely, you are. So when I work with anyone, I always have my promises. That's my flow, that's my rhythm. And so my promise is always to be authentic and generous, to deliver as much valuable information and inspiration as I possibly can in the time that we have, to assist you in creating a business that delivers freedom, fulfillment, and financial success, not just now, but far beyond this conversation, and that provided you do the work. Okay, one of the things I say frequently is information acquired but not acted upon is just a souvenir. So, provided you do the work, you're going to have a clearer path to pursue the work that makes your spirit grow. And that's what I'm looking for. Golden tickets. Okay, customer service is your golden ticket because it doesn't stop with the transaction. I know that many of you feel that, oh, I got the job, I got the gig, I sold the product, I have the check. I have the, PayPal just went cha-ching. So everything is all good. That is not the way it is. Okay. That's just the beginning. You thought that the beginning was, going to be just going through the ask and that kind of a thing. Let me take you back to the very beginning. Okay. It started with some type of an entry point. It started out with you meeting someone either online through social media at an event. Um, they pressed a button on your website, but there was a connection. When you had that connection, the next thing that happened was you had a conversation of some type, whether it was, again, online or face to face. There was some kind of communication and connection. And during that time, you were able to present to that individual the value of your product or service. They realized that you were solving a need that they had, or as we frequently say, you had the cure for their particular pain. And you communicated the value of your service or your product in such a way that the value far outweighed the investment that they were going to make. Now, for some of you, if you have a low ticket item, then it's just, okay, rinse and repeat, hit the website, we'll go ahead, we'll do that, great. For others of you, your sales cycle may be a little bit longer. So it may be you meet the person. After you meet the person, you have that obligatory one-to-one or coffee meeting. And then when you're having that coffee meeting, you are dealing then with that conversation where you kind of feel each other out. During that conversation, okay, take notes because I'm getting ready to start throwing down some stuff that I put in my other programs and it's not on the slides. So listen. During that one-to-one meeting is when you determine whether that person is a prospect, a suspect, or an ambassador. All right. And you're like, what does all of that mean? Okay, I'm glad you asked. A prospect is someone who could be a customer, but not right now. The time is not ripe for them to be that individual.
Donna,
Yeah.
can you hold on just one moment? It seems like the screen, it says sharing, but it's seems to not be
It's
sharing.
not sharing. Okay, it says on my end, people can see my screen.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay, you sure?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. So then again, what we're talking about is the prospect, the suspect, and the ambassador. So excuse me, I got it reversed a little bit, but the suspect is the person who may be a client, but they're not ready to purchase at this particular time. The prospect is the person who is ready to buy. Or they at least fit your demographic for your ideal client. They are a person that you would love to work with. The ambassador is a person who may never buy from you, but they are someone who can introduce you to your ideal client. So the WBDC is an ambassador for me. Okay, am I selling anything to them? No, but are they in a position to put me in front of people who would be interested in my services or my offerings? Yes. So you've got then the entry point of you met them somewhere. You did the cardboard connecting, the business card exchange. After the business card exchange, you had that one-to-one meeting. You determine their value by determining if they are a suspect, a prospect, or an ambassador. Then there's the next conversation where you have to continue to build value. When you are having that value-driven conversation, this is what it's going to be like. You're going to listen twice as much as you speak. You're going to identify how your product or service is going to alleviate the challenges that they may be having in the space that you occupy. So it looks like when you're meeting people and you're having those conversations, please don't start the conversation by pushing a card at them, a brochure at them. It's not for the purposes of the transaction at that time. And the reason I'm putting that information in here is because some of you may be wondering why you don't have enough customers. It's like customer service. I've only got 8 clients right now, or I've only got 15 clients right now, or I've only got 2. You know, customer service is a good thing to know, but you need to close more business. And one of the things that may keep you from closing business is not listening to the client. And I can give you a real quick example of that. How do you like to purchase? Do you like to purchase by the person who's going to steer you directly to what they're peddling at that particular point in time? They don't care about what you want. Yeah, but you really want this because it's popular. You really want this because it's on sale. You really want this because, no, I really don't want this because you need the sale. That's not why I'm buying it. It needs to meet my particular needs and solve my particular pain. Well, you can't solve that pain if you haven't listened to them and figured out exactly what it is that they need you to do. All right. I see somebody put in the chat, let us know that you can hear Donna. So please get into the chat area and let us know that you can hear us and introduce yourself if you like. So you have to stay in action in customer service because it's more than managing complaints and refunds. Okay. And keeping your customers satisfied is job one, all the way through the buying process. And then beyond the buying process, because that's the way they become your repeat customers or clients, and that's the way they become an ambassador and refer business to you. All right. 85% of buyers prefer to do business with a company that's been recommended. And we're all the same. We all like to have someone tell us why this is a good decision. We like the validation. So when you do, did I lose this? Nope, there we go. When you do acquire the transaction, you have to stay in action. You have to absolutely stay in action with that. So the tools that you're going to need in order to make this happen is, number one, you need to know what your goals are. Okay, and if they're not written down, they don't exist. Don't hold all this stuff in your head. You've got enough going on to hold things in your head. Write it down. I do a lot of private consulting in addition to the work that I do with people who are what I call kitchen table CEOs, or you have a small business with a virtual sales force or virtual support. And so one of the things that I have to correct them on frequently is write down your goals. because that's the only way you can tell what's working and what's not working. In customer service, that means when you're reaching out to your clients, ask them, how did you enjoy this particular transaction? Great. Was it easy for you? Terrific. Was there something that I could have done to make this easier for you? Okay, great. And quality of product or service or whatever, great. You're going to ask all of those things, and you're going to be able to re-articulate the value of your particular service. If you can't tell people why they need to do business with you, what's in it for them, not what's in it for you, but what's in it for them, then that's going to totally affect your sales. Okay? You need to make sure that you're saying it to the right person. In other words, you need to know who your ideal client is. And there are tons of free things out there that tell you how to describe your perfect client, your ideal client, your client avatar. It all means, who do you work well with and who will respond favorably to your product or service. Anything that you put out there should have someone saying, yeah, I'd pay for that. I would pay for that result. I would pay for what they are saying the value is of their particular product or service. When you have those value-driven conversations over coffee, what you want to be able to do is have them lean in after you get through with that conversation and say, gee, Aisha, that was a valuable conversation. How can we work together? Or, Terry, I have someone that I want you to meet. That's what you're looking for. Because if you hate to sell, you leverage that value conversation so that you're servicing, you're not selling. Whether it's in your sales process or your customer service process, you have to leverage every single meeting. And that means that you need to make sure that you have scripts of the things that you need to cover. Now, that isn't like a telemarketing script, but what it means is, for customer service, what are the key 4 or 5 things you want to make sure you never forget to ask? That you never forget to ask. What are the key things that you never want to forget to ask when you're talking to a prospect? What are the key things that you don't want to forget when you're talking to a new person that you just met? How do you frame that so that you are keeping them interested and you're not one of those people where they're like, oh, that was 15 minutes of my life I will never get back? And we've all had those conversations. We've all had those conversations. I actually wrote a book, oh gosh, about 5 or 6 years ago, and it is called You Lost Me at Hello: Actionable Principles That Move You Beyond Networking. It's on Amazon or wherever whatever. But if you want to break through in your networking, it will help you to create those types of conversations. You have to learn how to leverage every single meeting. Every single meeting that you have to leverage it. And you have to leverage it not only with talking about the features and benefits of your particular product or service, but you have to give it validation. And that's in customer service as well as in the sale. The easiest way to do that is to, again, use stories. Use stories. So when I talk about some of the things that I do, I generally will ask a person, where are you challenged in whatever it is? So if you're in health and wellness, then you might say, have you experienced any challenges in health or wellness, in the last year or two? Yeah, okay, so you've got, what, high blood pressure, you've got this, you've got that. Okay, and what have you tried previously to take care of that? What have you tried is a key question. Followed up with, how did that work out for you? You don't have them say, oh, well, I tried this tea, and jump in and go, oh, well, I have a better product than that. No, that's not how you build a relationship. You're going to ask them, how did it work for you? What did you like? What did you not like? well, I didn't like the cost, or it didn't give me the result that the person who sold it to me said that it was going to get, or it made me ill. It could be any of those things. And at that point, you'll begin to talk about some of the benefits of what you're offering. What if I could show you a way to lower your blood pressure, and also to, I don't know, lose weight, have this benefit, have that, more energy, whatever it happens to be. And in that way, you would be able to reduce this symptom or that symptom. And people who have worked with this before, I had a person who had the same type of health problems. When I worked with that person, this is what their result was. And then you tell them the story about what that result was. And don't just say, oh, they lost 30 pounds and their blood pressure went down by 10 points, because that's not exciting. All right. You want to say they had tried so many different things. They had tried this, they had tried that. They were so disillusioned, they felt that they just have to be better life through chemistry for the rest of their life. And where they were looking at surgery or whatever. But after we worked together, this is the result that they got. And now you can say they lost 30 pounds or their blood pressure went down. And now they can get out and they can exercise, or now they can breathe without having to carry oxygen, or whatever your outcome is. And then it's like, is that the kind of result you're looking for? And if they go, yeah, how can I get that? Well, okay, I'm glad you asked. And then you can move into some of the other points, but you always want to use some type of a story, an example, a testimonial. And you're going to do that even in customer service, because if someone calls you, I have a thing, there's a product in Chicago, a young lady sells something called She Wraps, and they're headscarves that she imports from Nigeria. She has one of the best customer service processes I've ever encountered. And I own almost every one of her scarves. It's like I'm addicted. Every time a new product comes out, I get it. And one of the things that I love about it is she's always checking to find out, have you learned a new way to wrap it? Have you found a new way to do this, to do that? Do you want to see a video on how to achieve this look or that look? Do you need something more funky? Do you want something more professional? There's always all of those things going on. How are you using the product? And so when you are keeping that kind of a dialogue and asking your clients, how do you use this product? One thing that I do frequently when I'm doing workshops is I'll ask people, okay, how many ways can you name to use toothpaste? How many ways can you name to use toothpaste? And oh my goodness, every single time I get something different that I haven't had before. Most of us know it's a dental hygiene product. Terrific. You use it on your skin, a lot of people do, in order to dry out blemishes and to fade spots. Okay, terrific. One woman says that she uses it to clean her diamonds. Wonderful. Another person said, no, you use it to clean your gym shoes. Really? And you repair holes in the wall. Okay. And it goes on and on. Do you ask your clients how they use your product? Did they find a different way to use it? Did it affect you in another way? I just completed a mastermind with some clients, and although they all had different outcomes, which is wonderful, it was called Elevate Your Sales. One woman did that thing that I love to see happen. She said, Donna, you know what? I thought that I wanted to grow my CPA business, but I realized after we went through all of these exercises and all of this training that I want to create a different business. And I don't want it to be in accounting. Even though I've been doing it for a long time, I've been doing it for a long time. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go into fitness. I want to move to Arizona, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And so that's what we're going to create. But it's a wonderful story for me to tell about the program, because I not only give you clarity on your sales process and all of the other things for sales, for customer service, for referrals and such, partnering, all of that. but you get such clarity that you really decide whether or not you're in the right space. And there's no fault in that. She wanted to make the change. I'm going to give her some extra time and we're going to work together and we're going to make that change. So always have a relevant success story and always probe for additional information that will shine a light on some aha moments where you can add value to what that client is looking for. All right. Now, I said before, if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. So here are some key things that you want to make sure you cover. All right. Number one, you need to understand clearly where the customer is at, who they've talked to, what their pains are. Second, you need to be sure that you can identify what a successful outcome will look like to them. Because if they have an unreasonable expectation, you have to manage that before you make an offer. I mean, if someone came to me and said, Donna, I've got a pill, that'll help you to lose weight, that's wonderful. Well, what's a good outcome for you? I need to lose 80 pounds, like in 2 weeks. Well, it's not going to do that. So let's talk about what it would take for you to lose the 80 pounds, but it's not going to be in 2 weeks. You have to manage those expectations. You have to cross-reference areas where the solutions that you provide are in alignment with what their particular need is. Okay, so you don't want to sell a loaf of bread to someone who's gluten-free. You have to make sure that unless it's gluten-free bread. I know somebody said that, but no, really. So you don't want to sell Wonder Bread to somebody who is gluten-free. I'll just leave it like that. Okay? And you need to identify where to go above and beyond what their expectations are. That's key in customer service. So when you work with your clients, you need to be extremely clear on what a desired outcome is for them so that you're providing them all of the aha moments that will have them want to tell other people what a great experience it was working with you. What a great experience it was to transact with you, to be supported by you, the quality, the attention, how they felt so special, how you responded to challenges that they may have had with the product or with the service. And you want to position yourself so that you are that subject matter expert, that confidant, that person that they go to, because anything that has to do with your product, also, people. So you can connect them to other people. Don't be so self-centered in your business that you don't allow your business to grow. As business owners, our number one priority is actually job creation. The more money you make, the more people you can bring on so that you can make more money. The easiest way to do that is to grow your client retention and get referrals from those people. Okay, I'm not seeing activity in the chat, so I would typically say yes, if that's making sense to you, but I'm just going to cross my fingers that everybody's still with me and you're saying, yeah, that makes sense. You want to make sure as a part of your customer service process that you check in and reinforce the goals or the desired outcome that they describe to you when you had that transactional conversation, when you pitched them, when you sold them. They told you that they wanted to purchase this particular product for a trip. Terrific. How was the trip and how did everybody love it? Okay, a healthcare product, terrific. How is it working for you? Are you using it the way that we instructed you to use it? That is so key, because sometimes you'll sell a product, you assume they're going to read the instructions and use it exactly the way you intended so that they can get the result they told you they wanted. Then they're going to say, oh, it's not working. Okay, are you doing this? Yes. Are you doing this? Sometimes. No, it's not a sometimes, love. I need you to do it consistently. I need you to do it exactly the way that I said I needed you to do it, if that's the result that you want. That's all a part of customer service. Being focused in on their outcomes and reminding them what they told you at the beginning of the transaction. When I work with people in insurance or in real estate or whatever, and they're saying, I want more business. Okay, check the box. I get that. Are you networking? No. All right. So you're waiting for the prize patrol to just roll up to your door? You know, you have to get out there and you have to network. You have to position yourself to talk to people so that people talk about you, even if your business is online, actually, especially if your business is online. You have to have those conversations. It's who knows you that's going to assist you. So that when your customers go around and they say, oh, I'm using this product that I got from Marianne. Really? I've heard about them. So you enjoyed that experience? Oh, it's a wonderful experience. She checks in on me all the time. They're sending newsletters telling us about new things that they're doing, you know, and she shows up and supports me in this or in that. That's all a part of customer service. Customer service is something that you have to block time for in your schedule. And that's something else that has to be written. So these are the things I need you to have written. Number one, you're going to have your business development time, which is your time to network, whether you're doing online or face-to-face. I literally have what I'm calling Zoom Bud, because I am on Zoom so many hours, yes, Lord, hours a day, networking. And then there's the Zoom Butt hours that I spend actually servicing my clients. And then there are the hours that I spend checking in on the various people that I'm working with in between the times that we regularly meet, or sending them an article or introducing them to someone that I think is going to benefit them. Do you think they talk about me? Yeah, they do. Do you think that they introduce me to other people? Yeah, they do. And it's not because I'm this master networker, it's because of the service that I give. And every conversation that I have with someone is not an ask, okay? It's not a pitch. The goal is to have them want to work with you, not feel pressured to work with you. And once you get them into your sales process as a customer, you want to keep them there. So that's when you begin to move them into the next level of your product, the next level of your service. That's when that begins to happen. All right. And then you can begin to develop that relationship even further. So they become one of those ambassadors. I want you to remember, as you are talking to individuals, that you have to ask all of the questions that are going to have them convince themselves that you have the answer they're looking for that thing that you do. That's what has to happen. And then this is just a little bit of Donna Free when it comes to sales. Remember that only yes is a yes. So if they say, I'll think about it, that's not a yes. Yes comes real quick. Okay. Anything else is not a yes. I have to think about it. Okay, you didn't ask the right questions. You didn't solve their problem. I have to check with my husband or my wife or somebody, my partner. Okay, you didn't clear at the beginning of this conversation who the decision makers were. You know, especially if you're doing like real estate or insurance, it's like, who handles these decisions in the household? We do it together. Great, I'd love to speak to the two of you. No point in even going through all that stuff. I'd like to speak to the two of you. Yes, Terry?
I have a question. Someone
I'm
has a
ready.
question.
I
Are you
can't
okay
see
with
the
are
chat.
you okay
No,
with taking
go
a couple
ahead.
of questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in reference to what you just said, someone said, have you found to work best for scheduling that time? For example, do you set time limits for prospective clients, such as 9 a.m., 11 a.m., etc.? So do you carve out time to meet with your clients?
Okay, here's how that works. If we're talking about someone that I just met at a networking event, then my outreach is within a certain time.
Mm.
And depending upon whether it is a phone call or an email or a text, I still do that early. I do that at the beginning of the day. And what that script, remember I said if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. What that script looks like, and you can do it in Word and cut and paste. It's so easy. If you use Google Voice, you can cut and paste for text. It's so easy. But it's like, it was a pleasure to meet you. I would very much like to have a follow-up conversation so I can learn more about how I can support you, either through connections or expertise. Feel free to steal it. I use that all the time. I give it away freely, but I do use that. And then what you want to do is ask them to respond to you with their availability. From that, you can begin to schedule the calls according to the other things that you have. If you have a day job, then you know that you have limited windows to work with. And you would probably tell them, I have openings on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 4 and 7, Saturday mornings between this and that. However it is you want to tell them what that block is, please tell me which day is best for you, and I'll let you know what my availability is. But I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with you. So there's only some things that you can say. I would never say, I can only talk to you at this time or that time if you've got some flexibility. One thing that I do suggest, and I use this faithfully, is for follow-up phone calls. I use Calendly, and you'll get to see that because it'll be on my end slide. But I use Calendly to schedule general conversations, and with Calendly, I can schedule slots of time, and I ask people to select the time that works best for them, given the availability on my calendar. Sometimes I'll get an email, Donna, there's nothing on the calendar, and I really need to talk to you this week. Okay, fine. Then now that's a pick up the phone and have a conversation. But the basic blocking, the basic time blocking that I had is handled in Calendly. When it comes to texting and emails, I'm an early riser. So I'll be doing emails, texting, LinkedIn. I do all of that probably between 6:30 or 7 in the morning and 8:30 in the morning. Most of my networking is done between 7 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. because I prefer morning networking. I don't like to interrupt my day with a lunch unless there's some serious opportunity in that particular group. And then you have to also block out the time for you to create or work on things going on in the business, because most of you don't want to work 24/7. If you're wise, you don't want to work 24/7. Work is what you do to finance who you want to become. And that's a whole nother conversation. But you don't kill yourself. The business is supposed to work for you. You don't kill yourself for the business. Was there another question, Terry?
Someone asked about we talked about how difficult it's difficult now meeting folks because of COVID-19. So Donna, you can chime in, but one of the things that I found that works good for me, that has worked for me during COVID-19 to continue that outreach, is to pull out some of those business cards that you weren't able to get to before when we were going through all of this running around all over the place before COVID-19. And I have been following up on some of those contacts. So I've been using that time for that. And you can also meet people via Zoom, because if you look at our chat, hopefully you can see the folks that are on here and see there's comments. And Donna asks everyone to kind of introduce themselves. So they're doing that now. So if you look at the chat, there may be some folks interesting on here that you think may be a good follow-up for you. Donna, you can add whatever you want to that.
No, I'm kind of pouting because I can't see anything in the chat for whatever reason. I'm not getting the, oh, wait, there we go. Okay, somebody said they liked my book. That's so nice. Thank you, whoever you
Mhm.
were.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important that if you are connected to people on social media, reach out to them. This is a time to take the business offline and into the real world. If you're connected to them on LinkedIn and they are in the area that you need to connect with, this is a time to go ahead and say, hey, I call them catch-up calls. And I've been putting direct messages in with people for catch-up calls. They're wonderful. And they have uncovered all kinds of opportunities. But remember, when you're doing this and you're reaching out to someone out of the blue, you are not trying to sell them. Don't do that.
Right.
That builds a bad brand for you. Okay? It builds a very bad brand for you. Again, how can I support you? Either through connections or expertise, because if you give something to them, they're going to remember you fondly. And of course, we always want to reciprocate. And they'll ask you, well, how can I support you? You know, you're giving me this information, or you're sending me a sample, or, you know, you just gave me some stuff that I can do to help alleviate this particular problem. You connected me to somebody I had been looking for. What can I do for you? That's that lean in that you're looking for. All right. But you must become more comfortable with having those value driven conversations. You know, I do this particular thing. That's nice. Why do I care? And they don't say that to you, but that's what's going on in the back of their mind. If you've ever been to an event where people start sticking flyers and business cards in your hand, you know that you look at them and you're like, and I care about this. Why? You didn't even say hello to me. That's why you find them on the floor and left on the chairs and left on the table. I only give a business card out to a person who asks for it. Or if we agree that there's a reason we should reconnect, I'll ask them for theirs. Or we will stand there and text each other right then and there so that we have each other's cell phone numbers. That's always the coolest thing in the world to do. And those of you who have businesses and you do business to business, okay, so here's the sneaky thing to do. First of all, you know, with LinkedIn, you can connect with them in the room. There's a QR code in LinkedIn that you can use and you all can connect immediately before you leave that room. So you want to do that. But if they say email me something, the questions that you want to ask are, do you want me to use the email that's on this card, or is there a different email you'd like for me to use? What do you want me to put in the subject line of the email so that you will remember that this is information that you requested, you know, kind of like our secret password, so that it doesn't get past you. And then you always want to shoot them a text, because now you've got their cell phone, and say, I just sent you the email that you requested, looking forward to a conversation later this week. You want to stay top of mind. And you're going to do the same things with your clients in customer service, because you have to remember that the close is not the end of the sales process. It is only the beginning of the sales process. You have to underpromise and overdeliver. You have to stay in regular communication. You have to get testimonials. The formula for testimonials is not, Mary is just so easy to work with and she was full of so much information, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to pay for that result. I would not pay for that result. I know a lot of nice people and I know a lot of knowledgeable people. I'm not paying for that. But if they say, when I met Mary, I was challenged with X. As we worked together, I began to see, or I learned, or I discovered X. And at the end of our working together, you know, this is what the result was. This pain was taken care of. This challenge was alleviated. I lost the weight. I got more clients. My website gets more hits, whatever it is. It needs to be, when somebody reads that, they go, oh, well, I would pay for that. I would definitely pay for that. If you take a look at my profile on LinkedIn, one of the ones that makes me smile the most right now is from a guy who works for a company called Paylocity. And he says, I call Donna my fairy godmother of sales. And working with her, I was able to, I think he won an award, or he was in the top percentile nationally for his firm. And that's a result you would pay for. Do you want to be at the top of your game? Yes, then you want to call me. Do you want to get healthier? Yes, then you want to call Susan. Do you want to have the trip of your dreams? Yes, then you want to call Joanne. Those are the results that people will pay for. And all of your testimonials have to be like that. Remember to ask for referrals and introductions. You're my favorite client. I have enjoyed this relationship so much. It's so easy to work with. Are any of the people that you're connected to experiencing problems similar to the one that we just nailed? Would you introduce me to them? It's not hard, but it is a habit that has to be developed, because business owners have a tendency to do one of two things. You either address the thing that is the most fun, squirrel, bright and shiny, or the thing that's causing you the most pain. Oh my God, they want my financials and I haven't even filed taxes yet. The thing that causes you the most pain. So stick with these things, rinse and repeat, create a habit with that. All right. And you will find that you will get more clients, you will be able to sell more to your existing clients, and you will increase your referrals, which are by far the cheapest way to grow your business. Having other people talk about you. That's just perfect. So I always ask what your golden nugget was, and I would love to know what your aha was in the conversation that we just had. And then for those of you who would like some more, you can email me at donna@donnasmithbellinger.com. I have a bunch of really cool free stuff that I can send you if you would like that. One of the things that I give away freely is a visualization exercise to help you get your goals focused. And I call it the perfect day, creating the perfect day. And I would love to be able to send that to you if you shoot me an email. And I have a couple of other goodies that I will send you to help reinforce the things that we were talking about. And then also, there's Calendly. Calendly.com is that tool I was referring to if you want people to be able to reach out to you according to your schedule. Calendly, and there are several other scheduling softwares out there. If you would like to engage with me, there is, if you use this link, Coaching on Demand, a very reduced rate for you to work with me for 1 hour. And in that 1 hour, because I'm not going to try and talk to you into some 6-month program or anything like that, but in that 1 hour, I want you to bring me your biggest challenge. And we're going to work on that big honking challenge. I'm going to pour everything I've got into you. And I think you can tell that I can do a lot with an hour or less. So I'm Donna Smith Bellinger. And if there are questions in the chat, Terry, I'm happy to answer them. And if not, of course, I'll just turn it right back over to you.
Okay, can you hear me, Donna? Thank
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
This was wonderful, Donna. There were questions, but I believe we pretty much covered most of the questions as I can see it here. Anyone has anything burning? There's a lot of introductions in here, so we got some wonderful representation from a lot of different business industries here.
Oh, I hope you take a snapshot or something of that so that I can know who I spoke to, since I can't see them.
Yeah, I think we might be able to capture this, but we do have all of their contact information that we will share with you, Donna.
Terrific. And don't worry, people, I don't spam and I don't send tons of emails or any of that other stuff. Absolutely not. You may get a LinkedIn invite from me.
Yeah, they can always unsubscribe from your emails, right?
Oh, well, like I said, I don't do newsletters and stuff, so it would
Okay,
just be
all right.
one email. Yeah,
Just one email. Okay, so
yeah.
Donna will follow up with all of you with the information that she provided on the call. So look for a follow-up from her. We will provide her with your contact information. Do you have anyone have any other burning questions? I put in the chat the contact information for the Women's Business Center for the Aurora Group. There's 4 of us. There's Aisha McBarrows. She's the director of the Women's Business Center Aurora. There's myself, Terry Simmons. I'm the director of COVID-19 programs for small business for the Aurora Center. You have Yvonne Villapando, and she's new, so I hope I didn't butcher her last name. But she's our support person, and she serves our clients that speak both English and Spanish. And then we have Michelle Clark. So reach out to 312-853-3477 if you want to set up an appointment to meet with any of us at the Women's Business Center. If we are unable to support you with our level of expertise, we have resources that we can refer you who will be able to support you, such as Donna Smith Bellinger. So Donna, thank you so much for being here with us tonight, for all of that wonderful information that you shared with our guest. We look forward to working with you so much more in the near future, Donna. I don't think, let me go once more through the chat, because we do have a couple more minutes to see if anybody has anything outside of what we've already okay. If you go to attendees, I don't know if you guys can see attendees on your dashboard or not. You may be able to see all the folks that are part of the group tonight. It's a little bit different than Zoom. GoToWebinar. For all of our future webinars, we will be using Zoom, which we think is a little bit better, a better tool. So I apologize if you can't see all the people that's on the chat tonight. But
Yeah,
please reach out to, I'm sorry.
I just see us.
Yeah. So please reach out to the Women's Business Center. Again, if you have any questions, we're here to support you, and look for a lot more workshops like this that's coming your way in the very near future. So everyone have a good evening, and we look forward to talking to you all soon.
Thank you
Bye.
all so much. Bye. Have you ended the recording?